Guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm Chris with M7 Metalworks. We're going to take a little break from the Oliver today, and I think we're going to clean this little anvil up. The anvil you see underneath it is a Fisher Norris. It's a 250-pound anvil. It's one I've had for some years now. And I just come across this one here on Facebook Marketplace. The guy had listed it for $300. He had said it was over 120 pounds at least, but he didn't really know how much. And I believe it weighs right at 100 pounds after weighing it. So, which wasn't a big deal. He had put it on his bathroom scales at his house while I was there and said, yeah, it's 100 pounds. So I knew what I was getting. But it's an Acme anvil, which is kind of unusual. I don't come across a whole lot of the Acmes. Around here, it's Peter Wright and Fisher Norris mostly. But it's in really good shape. You know, got a few little chiggers on it, but I mean, those are really pretty minor. On the other side, I mean, really pretty smooth. This side was, they dressed the edge much better. It's got a nice round edge, so you don't get the chipping when you have those edges dressed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clean it up. I'm going to dress these edges first thing. I'm going to take I've got a little sander here, just a small belt sander, and I'm going to take it along these edges and just kind of take that sharper edge down and see if we can't smooth that out just a little bit. I'll probably run it along the top just real briefly. I'll get the top probably a little bit cleaner than it is for sure. And then I think the rest of it we'll just wire wheel and throw a little bit of boiled linseed oil on it and call it good. As soon as I get it cleaned up so that we can see the insignia on it, the Acme insignia, I'll show you that. That's pretty neat looking. All right, guys. So I've got my little belt sander here. Again, just going to dress these edges. The front here doesn't need too much. It's really back here on this side, and then this whole side needs some dressing. So I want to get the edges where they're not so sharp. The reason you get these chips in these anvils is because, two reasons. Guys, don't dress the edges. They keep them sharp. So when you hit something on it, all that pressure is on one sharp little edge, and of course it chips out. And then the second reason is they end up using these with cold steel, so they don't use hot iron or hot steel on it. They end up just using it to bend metal and basically like a railroad iron, and you can't do that with these. The steel on them is just too hard, they'll chip out. Let's see if we get a little less movement. Oh yeah, that should work out quite a bit better. Hey guys, well, I have discovered something about this anvil. So you see the Acme written here, and I think AC, I can't tell if they were trying to do the rest of it there as well, but look right here. There's a Trento, and I suspect there's an N right there, which would mean Trenton, and there's that triangular kind of insignia that Trenton has. I did not know this was a Trenton anvil when I bought it, and I didn't know it till just now. So I don't know if I got ripped off or not. I suspect the guy that sold it had no idea it was a Trenton either. Couldn't see it quite as well as you can now that I've cleaned it up. And I'm not sure, you know, maybe maybe there's some of you guys out there that are, you know, anvil experts, but a few things on this anvil I'm not sure about. So I don't know if Trenton made the anvil. Well, obviously I know Trenton made the anvil. I don't know if they sold it under the Acme name. You know, Acme purchased a certain number of anvils and then would just stamp their Acme on there and sell them that way. I don't know. I'm not real sure. Or if this was a specific type, model of Trenton. So Trenton sells an anvil and this is their Acme line. I don't know for sure, to be honest. And then also, I don't know that these holes are something that came from the factory. You know, I don't know if that's something that the factory did. It's a good idea. I like it. My Fisher has the same thing. It has just a single hole up front and a single hole in the back, which helps hold it down, which is really nice. But the only ones I know that do that are Fisher. I'll give you kind of a close-up on this. You can see where it had some weld spatter on it. Now I've all but eliminated. I mean, I can't even feel it. So, granted, it is a bit cold today. Maybe my hands are numb, but it's really in good shape. This is just super smooth. And you can see where I've dressed the edges. Rounded them off, give them a nice shoulder so that in the future we won't be chipping it. Or maybe someone else will own this. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure I'm keeping it. I bought it to flip it. I bought it at $300, which, you know, it's 2022 right now, and the anvils seem to be going for a lot of money. The Fisher, the big 250-pound Fisher, and that big Fisher right there, I purchased that Fisher for $300. And that was a good deal in the day, back in the day, but it wasn't like a killer deal. You know, now a 250-pound anvil in that kind of condition, that one's in pristine condition, and it would sell for, you know, 1,000 plus, 1,200 maybe even more. But this one here is pretty neat. It's in really good shape. I'm real pleased with how it come out. I would have loved to have ground these down to the point where they didn't show at all, these little chips on the edges. But you know what? I'll live with them because I really don't want to take that much off of this. And then I just lightly went across the top just to get some of these little weld spatters. Obviously, someone sat stuff on this and welded it. Don't do that, guys. These are anvils. They're a tool, a very high quality tool. So, you know, treat them as such. But yeah, and I've had a lot of anvils in my life. And, you know, only since Forged in Fire have they become ridiculously expensive. Do me a favor in the comments section. If you know some of the history of the Acme Trenton anvils, if you can give me any information on that. And then also if you know for sure if these are aftermarket, you know, drilling holes, or if that came from the factory like that. Looks to me like it probably was something somebody did. Again, not a bad idea. But anyway, looks like I should have measured this. Let me grab a thing and I'll measure real quick and give you guys some stats. Okay, so this anvil is 100 pounds. I think I mentioned that once. The hardy hole is 7/8 inch. The Pritchell, I'm going to guess 3/8. No, Pritchell's much larger than 3/8. So looks to me like it is 9/16. So the Pritchell hole is 9/16 and the Hardy is 7/8. It's a little more narrow, I think, in the front. We'll find out here in a second. So it is 3 inches and almost 3/8 wide in the front, and it is a little bit wider in the back. So it is definitely 3 3/8 inch wide in the back. So really a pretty decent size working surface for this. All right, the full length is 23 inches right to the nose, maybe a 1/8 of an inch past that. Someone's blunted the nose, which is pretty typical. No one wants to get stabbed. The working surface here is right at 13.5. And then it's got just a little step for cutting and what have you. And that's just about 2 inches long, maybe just a hair shy of that. It is, what do we got there? 8 and about 3/4 high. So just a fine little anvil. I got some oil on this now, and after cleaning it up, you can get a look at that rebound. I went ahead and really cleaned this area up using just this wire brush and some cleaner, some naphtha. So what I see here, and it's going to be difficult to get this on camera very well. This looks like an M, a sideways M or a W. That's an 8 and a 5. And then right here we have an A, a 7, a 5, 5, a 0, and there may be a number here too, but it's a 7550 blank, so I think it's a 5-digit, but it could be just a 4. 7550 is all I can make out. A 7550 and then something there. And this is an 8 and a 5. So I know in doing some research on these that the 8.5 is the pounds. Now we weighed this on a scale, just a bathroom scale at his house, and it showed 100. So his scale was not accurate because I just grabbed my bathroom scale and that I keep out here in the shop, just an old scale, and it does weigh 85 pounds. So it is not a 100-pound anvil. It is an 85-pound anvil. So this is just a few surprises here with this particular anvil. Now, does it make me dislike it anymore or like it more? No. I mean, I love this anvil. It's awesome. And an 85-pounder, it's not overly heavy, but boy, it sure is a nice, well-built anvil made by the Trenton Company. And so, yeah, super pleased with it. But it is lighter than I thought. And that does make a difference in price. So a little disappointing in that regard. I'd rather it be a 100-pound anvil. But an 85-pound anvil, I got no problems with that. It's still an awesome anvil. So just a couple surprises there. So I did some research. And so I'm kind of throwing this at the end of this. Or so I'll throw this somewhere in this video. I'm not sure if it'll be the end. Probably won't be the end. But Acme was a company, and Trenton made the anvils for the Acme company. And the neat thing about it is, the Acme anvil is what the Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner cartoons were all, they always use the Acme anvil. So kind of neat in that regard. And certainly not a real common anvil. This is the first Acme anvil I've seen. And I've seen a lot of anvils. So kind of cool. But yeah, so I'll look up that date or that serial number on that 7550 and possibly another number behind that. That'll give me an idea of the age. But I'm pretty sure that, and I'll post the age on here once I do the research. I'll edit that date code in there. But I suspect this is a 100-year-old Anvil. And so it's 2022 right now, so I'm guessing 1922 or earlier, based on that serial number. But there are records and I can look it up, so I'm going to do that now. I really love tools, to be honest, and that's not always a good thing because I want to keep everything I come across, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Here's my, if you ever wondered what I did with that vise, that big old 600 Wilton, well, there it is. I went ahead and mounted that sucker, and it is a dandy vise. I love it. But again, I bought that one for the purposes of selling, and here I am keeping it again. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we'll end this video here. If you have some information, please put it in the comments. Comments are always welcome, of course. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you don't hit the like button, you know, my videos don't go anywhere. So I haven't been saying that in most of my videos. But honestly, I've got videos out there that I think are, you know, pretty decent, good videos that could help people. But, you know, no one hardly gets to see them because, you know, they don't hit the like button or what have you. So if you liked it, if this is something that you appreciate me sharing, then, you know, hit that like button for me, and let's see if we can't get this video seen by a few people. Thanks again. I'm Chris with M7 Metalworks. Don't forget to check out my channel and any other videos, particularly on this Oliver 550, which I'm going to get back on this tomorrow. So thanks again.